I guess good morning. Okay, let me share my screen. Today, what we need to discuss, what topic we need to discuss. SQL Server only, right? Alright. Okay, today we need to discuss about DML commands. What are that? What commands we need to discuss? DML commands. Okay, see here. Today, what we need to discuss DML commands. Very, very important topic. Listen carefully. Okay. DML. Full form of DML is full form of DML is data manipulation language. Okay. DML commands are, what are DML commands? Insert, update, delete. Okay. So what we can do in DML commands, we can modify the data. Okay. If you want to modify the data, then we have to use, that means manipulating the data. Either we can insert a new records into that particular table. So in TDL, what we will do, we are creating a structure. Okay, that means columns, columns only we created in DML. Okay, DDL. Okay, in DML, what we can do? We are inserting the values into that particular columns, right? In DDL, okay, while creating a table, we just need to create the columns. And so just creating the columns for that particular table, we created in DDL. Okay. In DML, what we can do for those columns, what values you want to insert it. In DML, you have to do that. If you want to update any of the value, okay, existing column value, if you want to update it, you have to use update. If you want to delete any particular record, understand, if you want to delete any particular record, then we have to use delete command. Okay, modify the, okay, in that, what is that first one? What we can do? Inserting records into the table. Okay, understand clearly or not? Okay, there are three ways to insert records into the table. One is, there are three ways to insert a records into the table. Okay, one is by using select statement, we can insert bulk records. Understand? These are the three cases to insert a records into the table. Okay. So by using these two statements, what we can do? One record only we can insert into that particular table. Okay. By using the first 2 points, we can insert one record into that particular table. Suppose if I want to insert a bulk records, I want to insert into the table once at a time. Once at a time, I want to insert a bulk records. Okay. Then you have to use, by using joins, we need to write a select statement. That select statement record once at a time we can insert into that particular table. Okay. By using select statement only, we can insert bulk records once at a time. Okay. So this point, okay, this point I will explain you after explaining the joins concept. Okay. Because first you need to understand what is join and everything. After that, I will show you one example by using joins, how we can insert multiple records into that particular table once at a time. Understand? Okay. So this one, with giving column names, we can insert the records into the table. How we can do that one? Let's see. See here, syntax for this one is syntax is insert into. What is that? Huh? Not column name, table name. Okay. Existing table name. Existing table name. Bracket. Open bracket and close the bracket. Okay. Give the column names. What columns are there in the, okay, in that particular table? Those column values. Understand, right? Huh? See here. Suppose, for example, I created one table, right? What is that? Select star from. Okay. Insert into. What is that? Table name. Insert into table name. Huh? Insert into table name. After that, brackets. So here table name also existing table name only. That means using create command. Okay, you are created a table, right? That related tables only you can use it. Understand clearly or not? Existing table name. Inside the brackets, what you have to mention? Okay, what columns are available in this table? Those columns only you can use it. Okay, see here. Values. Okay. So that means whatever columns you are given, that columns you have to mention inside the this, so inside these brackets, and after that give some space values inside open bracket and close bracket. What you need to give? Give the values. What columns you mention here, in the same order you have to give the values. Understand? What columns you are mentioned here, For the same columns, you have to give the values. Okay. In the same order, you have to give. First, what is the first column it is? For that ID related one. Okay. What is the second column it is? Name column. Name column it is. Okay. Next one is sales column. What is the sales column here? Like 34,000, like this. Okay. And period date, you have to give inside the single quotes, right? See, for character and date values must and should you need to give inside the single quotes. See here, for numeric or decimal, directly you need to give the values. Okay. For character and date related, all you have to give inside the single quote. Suppose, for example, okay, now what happened? Something is what is okay. Actually, why it is getting an error? Because in the name column, the what is the varchar size it is? 5 it is. But here I'm giving 8 here, 8 characters, right? While at the time of 8 characters, is that particular column is allowed? No, that's the reason it is throwing error. Okay, so I'm increasing the size of that particular one. Using alter command only, we can increase it, right? Okay, see here. Now you're trying to execute this one. See here, one record is inserted. Now let's see. Okay, and one more important. See here, while at the time of inserting, you are giving all the columns in that particular table, right? It's not compulsory to give all the columns in that particular table. Whichever columns you want to insert a values, those also you have to mention it. Suppose, see here, I'm giving product ID and sales. Product ID, name and sales. For this particular table, these are the columns. Values is and sales is Understand or not? So I mentioned in this particular table, there are 5 columns are there, but I want to insert like for 3 of the columns only. Okay. Then what will happen? What columns are required? Those columns I mentioned here. For those columns only, I'm giving values into that one. What about the remaining columns? Understand my question or not? So what columns we are mentioned here, for those columns must and should you have to give the values. Okay. Whichever columns you are not mentioned here, for those columns by default SQL server will give null values. Understand clearly or not? Okay. So whichever columns you are mentioned here, for those columns you are giving the values. Whichever columns you are not mentioned here, for those columns, what values are inserted? Null values are inserted. Very, very important point. Okay. While at the time of mentioning the columns, okay, for this one, okay. So either you can mention all the columns of that particular table, or else you can mention few of the columns of that particular table. Okay. Whichever columns you mention, for those columns must and should you have to give the values. Remaining columns, whatever it is there, for those columns, what values are inserted? Null values are inserted. Remember this point. Understand clearly or not? Okay. Understand clearly or not? Okay. One important point is, so while at the time of giving column names, okay, in any order you can mention the column names. It's not mentioning the order in which order the table it will be there. The same order no need to give. In any order you have to mention the column names. Understand? Suppose for example, first name, comma, after that product ID, after that bonus. I want to give like this. Understand clearly or not? So that means in any order you can mention the column names. Very important point. Not compulsory to mention in which order the table is there. In that order only you have to give the column names, means it's not compulsory. Okay. You can give in any order of the columns you can mention here. Okay. In which order you are mentioning the column names, in the same order you have to give the values, remember. Understand clearly or not? In which order you are mentioning the column names here, in the same order you have to mention the values. Okay. That means for name, what is that one? The product ID is, sorry. Yeah. What happened? See here. So you can mention in any order of the columns here. Okay. In which order you are mentioning here? In the same order, you have to give the values here. See here. First, I am giving name related values here. After that, I am giving product ID related value unit again, and bonus related one. Okay. See here. If I execute this one, it is executed. Vijay, I have a doubt here. What is my doubt is, in any order you are mentioning the column names. Can I mention the column values also same like that? In any order you can give the values. Okay. Suppose actually there is name, product ID, and is the order here in the columns. In the values, can I give the first as a product ID? After that, name, after that bonus like that? Can we give the values like that? No. Very, very important point is you cannot change the values of the order. You cannot change the order of the values. In which order the columns are mentioned, in the same order you have to give the values. Remember this point. Okay. In which order you are mentioning the columns, in the same order you have to give the values. You cannot jumble the values in any. Understand? So that's a very, very important point. Okay. While at the time of mentioning the columns in any order, you have to mention the column names. In which order the column names you mention it, in the same order you have to give the values. Understand clearly or not? Okay. See here. Understand clearly or not? Okay. Suppose if you change the order of the values, immediately it will throw an error. Understand? Let's see. Like this. Understand or not? Understand clearly or not? Okay. So next, what is the next insert statement? What is the next one? Hmm? Not update here. So many things are there. Without giving column names, we can insert the records. Okay. So syntax is insert into existing table name values. That's it. If you are following this one, second point. While at the time of inserting, if you are following without giving column names, we can insert the records. If you're following this statements to insert a records means the syntax is this is the one. That means insert into table name. No need to give the column names. Directly you have to give the values. But if you follow this second point, must and should, for all the columns, you have to give the values. Remember this point. Very, very important point. When you are following to insert a records, this second statement, if you follow the second statement to insert a records into the table, then this is the syntax for this one. Insert into table name and values of values unit. That means when you are following this statement, okay, all the values, that means in which order in the table the columns are there, in the same order you have to give the values for each and every column. Understand clearly or not? When you are following the second statement to insert a records means in the table in which order the columns are there, in the same order you have to give the values for all the columns. Very important point. Understand? See here. Insert into. What is the table name here? Mhm. Is this clear or not? Okay. And values of. In this table, what columns are there? Product ID, name, sales, period, date, bonus, right? So those related one. Suppose product ID is 4. Okay. Name is, and what is the sales it is? Okay. And what is the period date? Understand or not? Okay. So in the table, what values are there? That values only we can insert it. Understand? Okay. So that means in that particular table, what columns are there? For all the columns, you have to give the values in the same order. In the table, in which order, how the columns are there, in the same order, you have to give the values. And for each and every column, you have to give the values. Understand clearly or not? Okay. So this is how. That means one insert command will insert one record only. Vijay, by using one insert command, can we insert multiple records once at a time? Let's see. Understand my question or not? Can we insert multiple records using one insert command? syntax. Syntax. Either with giving column names or without giving column name, both. In both the ways, this is the thing you need to follow. Okay. Insert into existing table name. Okay. Existing table name. And after that, if you want, you can mention the column names here. Comma, column 2, etc. Like this. Okay. And give the values. Understand? See, either see, either you can mention the column names or without column names also. You can insert multiple records. How it is up to this part, you know, right? After this, see, after values, you are giving open bracket and close bracket. Inside that, you are giving values, right? That you need to copy again. And at the end, put comma and paste it like this. Understand clearly or not? Okay. Let's see with example. Insert into table name. Okay. So here, I'm giving comma here. After that, comma. Again, you can copy this one and after comma, paste it here. Don't copy values. Only one values. Okay. And whatever it is there, that means what columns and you are mentioning for those values you are given inside the brackets, right? That you have to copy and put comma and paste it another one. Here, see here. Suppose, for example, 5. Okay. Giving 6 here. Okay. Understand or not? Two records are there here. That's the reason two records are inserted into that one. Like this, you can write n number of them. Understand clearly or not? Okay. This is one way. Another way also we can insert it like this. Without giving column names also we can insert it. Understand clearly or not? See here. Here 7, 8. Like this also you can insert it. Understand clearly or not? Let's see. Understand? What is the next one? Insert commands are completed. Next one is, what is that? Bulk records after inserting. After discussing about the joins, we need to discuss about that one. Understand? Okay. Update. What is that one? We can modify existing records into the table. Okay. There are three ways to update. One is, what is that one? Okay. Without where condition, we can update the records. Next one is using where condition, we can update records. Next one is, huh? Bulk records updation. Okay. By using joins, we can update multiple records once at a time. When you are using these 2 points, one record, okay, for particular records or one records only, it is updated. If you want to update the records, multiple records once at a time means you have to use joins. Understand? Okay. While we are discussing about the joins, I will explain you clearly how we can do that. First one is without using where condition, we can update the records. Okay. See here. Syntax. How we can without using where condition means what is the syntax? Update existing table name. Which table you want to update it, that table name you have to mention. And after that, give set. What is that? Set operator. What is that? Set operator. Okay. And which columns you want to update, those columns you need to mention. Column name, existing column name. See, what syntax you are, I'm explaining here, the same syntax you are not finding in the Google. Okay. They are giving like overall syntax it is. But for easy understanding, I'm mentioning the syntax like this. Understand? Okay. So set existing column name. Which column you want to update it? That column name you have to use it. And operator you have to use it. Okay. What operator you have to use? Is equal to operator. What is that? Is equal to operator. After that, value. New value. Understand clearly? No? Whatever value you want, you can give. Like this, how many columns you want to update it, those many columns you need to mention. Again, another existing column name in the table is equal to operator and new value. Okay. Understand clearly? Is that clear or not? Okay. Once you mention that one, then if you execute this one, what will happen? Those columns only updated. Okay. So that means in when you are executing this command, what will happen? It's not updating a specific records. All the values, all the records of that particular column with the same value, it is updated. Understand what I am saying here? When you are executing this command, this syntax of update statement, what will happen in that particular column? What column you are mentioning and what value you are given here for that particular column? How many number of records are there? For all the records, the same new value what we are given here, that record only is updated for all the records. That means if I'm giving a product ID is 250, that how many number of records are there in that particular column? For all the values, what value is updated? What is that? 250 is updated or 120 is updated. Anything like see here, right? Okay. Suppose, for example, I'm not updating in this table. I'm taking different table and see the result. System. Here. So for this one, I'm using update statement here. See here, update. What is the table name here? In this table, which column you want to update in that particular one? Set. Okay. After that, in that particular table, any column you can update it. Okay. What is the column that it is? What column it is there? Only one column is there. That column I want to update it. What is that column? Suppose I'm giving operator and give the value like suppose 234 I'm giving. Okay. Now you can execute. Like this, you can mention, put comma and give multiple columns in that particular table, not only one column. Once at a time, you can update multiple columns into that particular table. Once at a time, you can update multiple columns once at a time. Okay. Put comma, another column name in that particular table, only you have to give the columns. Okay. So another column name is equal to operator and give the value. Like this, you can mention a number of columns, whatever you required it. But for me, I have only one column is there. That's the reason. If I execute this one, what will happen? In that particular table, in the product ID, how many number of records are there? Suppose 10 records are there. For all the 10 records, what values you can see? 2, 3, 4. Here, same values updated. So that means this is the drawback, right? Because all the values are updated to with the same value. It is, we cannot do like that. What we can do? I want to update specific record, not all the records. So to overcome this drawback, the second way of update statement will comes by using where condition. What is that? Using where condition, we can implement that particular one. Understand? That we can discuss in tomorrow's class. Okay. Tomorrow we can discuss those related things. Understand clearly or not? Online team, anyone having any doubts? Online team, anyone having any doubts? Mhm. On Saturday, I shared the script, right? SQL Server script. Okay. On daily wise, I will share the script. Check it in that one. Download it. Okay. So because Google Drive is free, Google Classroom is free. Up to 10 days only, the documents are available in the Google Classroom. Okay. So after that, you are not able to access the document. Whenever we are sharing a document, please download those documents and keep it in your local system. whatever documents you saved in a local system, at any time, anywhere you can open that particular one. Understand? So we can stop it here and we'll continue tomorrow. Bye, guys.